Hello and welcome. We have a math affair going on right here. Thank you for joining and tuning in. Today we're going to start a series of teachings on circle theorems. And I am going to start with the foundational properties of a circle just to get us started. Now, the focus on circle theorems is to look at angle rules or angle properties in circles. But before we can do that, we are going to discuss the keywords, talk about the keywords that we may have to use and apply, and establish when we are dealing with circle theorems. So let's take a look right here at our circle. We have a circle whose center is O. I have my point O right there. So the center of our circle is O. And to start with, I have the keyword radius. The keyword radius. Now, the radius of a circle is a straight line that's drawn from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference. So I will circle it right there, and then I will circle it in the diagram as well. So that's our radius right there. Starts from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference, meaning I could actually draw my radius this way. I could draw it that way, in any direction, as long as it is the distance between the center and the circumference. In any direction, a radius can go in any direction, but strictly start from the center and strictly stop at the edge of the circle, which is the circumference. Okay, then we have the diameter. Now, the diameter is a straight line that's drawn from one point of the circumference to another point and necessarily passes through the center of the circle. Our diameter has to pass through the center of the circle, but it connects 2 points. I could draw my diameter this way. Okay, so that's my diameter right there. That's my diameter right there. I could also draw my diameter this way, as long as I am passing through the center of the circle and connecting any 2 points on the circumference. I could draw it that way. What our diameter does is it divides our circle into 2 equal halves. Okay, moving on to a chord. Now, a chord, like the diameter, connects any 2 points on the circumference, but it does not pass through the center. In other words, we could say a diameter is a special type of chord. So a diameter is a chord, but it's a special chord because it divides our circle in half, or it passes through the center. But then any other chord does not have to pass through the center. Any other chord simply connects or joins any 2 points on the circumference. So I could call this point A and call this point B. So that is a chord AB. In this case, I would call this my chord AB. Connecting 2 points on the circumference, but does not pass through the center of the circle. I could draw another chord like so. That's a chord as well. I could draw it in any direction as long as I'm connecting 2 points on the circle without passing through the center. That's a chord. Then we have a tangent. Our tangent, I have it right here in pink. I have it on the circle as well in the same color. What is a tangent? A tangent is a straight line that touches the circumference of a circle at one point only. If I could zoom in very closely there, you would see that we are really touching exactly at one point, right? Our tangent must not cut the circle. It doesn't go through the circle. It does not go inside the circle. It simply touches the circumference of a circle from the outside, of course, at exactly 1 point. So we use the words like a tangent just touches to emphasize that it does not cross, it does not cut, it doesn't go inside the circle, through the circle, it just touches exactly at 1 point. That's our tangent right there. And then finally, we have the word arc. Arc. An arc of a circle is simply a curved part of the circumference. The curved part of a circumference. It's not the entire circumference. So I'm just going to highlight a few arcs which I have on this circle in yellow. That's an arc right here. So it's the curved part of the circumference. I have one arc right there. I'm going to show you another arc. This is another arc. Okay, that's an arc as well. I also have, this is an arc as well. Connecting those 2 points, connected by the chord, that's an arc as well. So an arc is simply the curved part of a circumference, but it's not the entire circumference. It can be as big and as small, but it's part of the circumference. It's a part, it's a portion of the circumference. So it's going to be curved every time because the circumference is completely circular or curvaceous. So you find that your arc is always going to be curved, but it's a portion of the circumference. Okay, now with these keywords, we're just going to add a few more to our list, but I'll be using a separate diagram. We're going to take a look at segments. Segments. What is a segment? A segment is part of a circle. But how do we come up with a segment? When we say part of a circle, what do we mean exactly? I'm going to start up with my chord AB. And this is the chord that I have right now in pink in our circle. Chord AB. This is our chord. Chord AB. What our chord does is that it divides our circle into 2 parts, which are not equal. Because remember, a chord does not pass through the center of the circle. So when it divides the circle this way, it's going to divide the circle into 2 unequal segments. So I'm going to shade the bottom part here. This is our first segment. Then the upper part, which I left unshaded, is another segment. This is what we refer to as segments in circles. One part is larger than the other, obviously. So what I have unshaded is our major segment. So I'm going to label it inside the circle here as the major segment. And the smaller part would be the minor. This is our minor segment, the one shaded. So major for bigger, minor for smaller. And that's it. And what comes along with this major segment and minor segment are the arcs. You remember us talking about an arc as a portion of the circumference. Now, if I have a major segment, then our major segment would take the major arc. So this part here, which I am just going through in yellow, would be the major arc. That's our major arc. Perhaps I'll take the other one in a totally different highlight there. Let's go for the minor arc. I'm going through the minor arc in a totally different color, in pink right there. So we have the minor arc and the major arc. So the major arc is an arc to the major segment, and the minor arc is an arc to the minor segment. These are keywords which we may use when we are working with circles in our discussions of circle theorems. So it will be very good for you to familiarize with these keywords, be very comfortable with them. So when we give reference to these words, you are comfortable with them, you know what we are referring to. So do look out for our next video on circle theorems. We're going to get into the actual theorems themselves one by one and practice and apply a lot of principles together. Remember to like, share, and leave your comments.